different tones can really affect the mood of the chunks that we use. So we have 4 examples on the screen right now. Our first one, to be honest, we use it to provide our true feelings. If we are trying to explain something to someone and we want them to maybe let them know how we feel and maybe they might not be happy, we can use this chunk to kind of soften the blow. Let them know, all right, this is how I really feel, but you might not be happy with it. So for the first one, I'll speak the sentence 2 times. I would like you guys to decide which time do I sound more critical, maybe more serious. The first one, to be honest, this type of advertising campaign is not what I'm looking for. And number 2, to be honest, this type of advertising campaign is not what I'm looking for. Which one is more critical, do you think? The second one is a lot more critical. Why does the second one sound more critical and the first one sound maybe more gentler? The first tone, I kind of speak in a higher voice, right? To be honest, this type of advertising campaign is not what I'm looking for. Versus the more serious tone, the more critical one, to be honest, this type of advertising campaign is not what I'm looking for. See, if we have to speak with a higher tone, it sounds more apologetic, more gentle. If we speak with a lower tone, it sounds more serious. So our second one, what I'm trying to say is, so this chunk is, again, used to express your personal opinions, right? So if maybe you're trying to explain something and they're not getting your point, they're not understanding what you're saying, you can say, what I'm trying to say is, so for this one, I'll say it again 2 times. I want you to tell me which one is more cheerful, which one is more positive. What I'm trying to say is that we need to move things in the opposite direction. And then the second one, what I'm trying to say is we need to move things in the opposite direction. One is the more positive one. Which one had more pauses? Number 1 or number 2 when I was speaking? Number 1, right? So when we add these kind of pauses, the first one sounds like a suggestion, right? It sounds friendly, right? So sometimes if we add pauses to chunks or longer pauses to our chunks, it can kind of change the meaning or change the mood of what we're saying and make something sound friendlier rather than serious and strict. And then our third one, I kind of feel like this chunk is used to express thoughts when you aren't sure of something, right? So we add this chunk to make sure it's not like a clear yes or a clear no. This time, I want you to tell me, which one sounds like a question. So neither of them are questions, but the way I say it is going to make it sound like it's a question versus one of them is going to sound more like a command. The first one, I kind of feel like we should practice everything one more time. And then the second one, I kind of feel like we should practice everything one more time. So the first one sounds like a question, even though it's not. It's a statement, but the way I spoke makes it sound like a question. It changed the mood. What did I do differently between the first and the second one? The ending tone goes up. If we want to soften it and we want to make it more of like a, I'm not sure. Again, with this chunk is, I kind of feel like we're not super positive. So we can, include a rising tone, and that kind of makes it sound even more unsure. And our last one, I see your point. Used to show understanding of another person's opinions, right? So I want you to tell me which one is wanting to continue the conversation. One of them is going to be like this is the end of the conversation. Number 1, I see your point, but we don't have the budget for that right now. And number 2, I see your point, but we don't have the budget for that right now. So number 2, the big thing that I want people to realize is when we combine all of the other points, adding pauses, speaking in a higher voice, kind of changing the pitch, we can kind of change the mood of what we're saying. If we add these pauses in the middle of our sentences and change our tone, kind of sound a little higher, it'll make what we're saying sound more open to further dialogue versus if we speak faster and speak lower, it's kind of the ending. So again, same sentence, these are the same chunks, but just kind of changing parts of it really affects the meaning. So again, the key thing I want everyone to remember is that use the chunk, memorize these phrases. Memorize these key phrases. Whenever you're in a situation, you know what you need to say. And then keep in mind that you can change the mood of what you're saying based off of your tone.